The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at WrestlingWithJohners.com.
All right, everybody, thank you for joining us back here. I am your host, Sarah, and with me, as usual, from AEW Are You Elite, we got the All Elite Bearded Genius, Gary. How are you doing today?
Feeling like Monday. Overall, pretty excited to say thank you very much for the person that sent me out some good fan mail, which looks like I'm going to do an appeal box. Thanks for Sarah giving me some good advice on that. But this follower, thankfully, has been around for a long time. But thank you for the Wardlow and Chris Statlander. This person apparently knows me really, really well to give me Miss Boop and Mr. War Dog. So very thankful for that. So,
of course, big news. Can't wait to talk about it. We're back on Facebook Live, everybody.
Yes. It feels good to be back live on here. How'd you figure it out, Sarah?
I gave it some time. From what I've been told from talking to different people, for a while things were getting marked as spam that weren't really spam. So something of ours might have triggered like a sales thing, spam kind of thing. And it just puts you kind of like on a block for a while. My personal page got released first. It was like 1 week at a time. I kept trying to do stuff, and it just kept re-triggering. Then I figured, well, let me just completely dissolve all connections between Facebook and StreamYard, reinstate them, and it worked.
Well, it feels good to be back for the Bucklebomb Entertainment family that follows us. So
we're still on Twitch. We'll still do some stuff on Twitch, some exclusive, watch-alongs and stuff. But we are back here as well. So let's get into the big news. We had speculation for weeks. Tony Khan talking about some big news. Sometimes it delivers, sometimes it doesn't. Yesterday's big news delivered. He announced that he was buying Ring of Honor. And that blew a lot of people out of the water. Some people speculated. Some people said no way. Leaked earlier in the day that they were going to be buying HBO, or that they had struck with HBO Max, and that was a big announcement. Turns out not the case, and it's Ring of Honor. What are your thoughts?
A lot of rumors were swirling that day yesterday. Even throughout the week. What is Tony Khan? What is he going to do? Is he going to get a streaming service? Is there going to be a big signing? So on and so forth. This right here is awesome. And here's why. A lot of people just were unsure. Like, okay, now this means the roster is going to get more bloated. Oh, Tony Khan spent all this money. So on and so forth. One thing that makes me feel so confident with this purchase, where Tony Khan posted the statement. Not the statement. It's kind of like the agreement, rather. The first paragraph states it's going to be the developmental for AEW. I think that is absolutely smart because, when you see the men and women that you're really, really catching your eyes on, like a Sky Blue, she's proven to us time and time again. She's pretty good. Is she signed yet? Maybe not yet. Maybe she needs to get a little more ring-in-ring action. Do that in ROH or whatever they're going to call it. I don't know if they're going to call it ROH yet. Hey, Caleb. So that I definitely think it's so beneficial for their talent. And I loved one thing that Tony Khan said on Bustin' Open Radio that afternoon, yesterday. He said it's not just for the fans, but it's for my wrestlers. How he said my wrestlers, I would love to work with a man like that. He thinks about the people that's working for him. And eventually, Sarah, I'm pretty sure the next thing that's going to happen, it's going to be a streaming service. Like, no doubt about it.
I'm hearing rumors are already working on that. Now they got the Ring of Honor library as well. It's just
I did.
one time.
Oh, we're gonna need it soon.
My DVR can use it. I've got my DVR is 85% full, and it's pretty much dynamite.
If I had a DVR still, I'm pretty sure mine would be completely at like 99%. But yeah, this is awesome. As a wrestling fan, this really rejuvenates your energy to more excitement. Not just for AEW, perhaps for wrestling overall. Some people could think this is a waste of a buy, but some people are enthusiastic like me. But at the end of the day, the AEW fans win, us wrestling fans win. So it's going to be very exciting once this goes forward. And I see that starting this Sunday to get the pieces started. And we're going to dive in that, Sarah. So I'm sure we're going to talk about that.
All right. So Orlando, who is typically here with us for these shows, he's working tonight. So we're gonna play a little clip from him. So we'll get his thoughts. And I'm going to plug my phone in. So if I lose connection, I'll be right back.
Hey everybody, it's Orlando. So my initial thoughts of Tony Khan buying Ring of Honor. It's a good move, actually. I think it will be beneficial for the wrestling landscape because it will give more opportunities for a lot of wrestlers. Also with the library, I mean, easily AEW could easily get streaming service with HBO Max. Fingers crossed for that. Um, Also, I'm thinking like if he wants to make it as a additional brand, I mean, it does have history, so I mean he could use that. And there's a lot of talent that are backstage that are not really doing anything, so it has its pros. Now, if everybody is thinking like if Vince McMahon would have bought it, it would just went into the Peacock, and then that's it. We would not been talking about it. But at least with Tony Khan, he would actually do something and maybe plan something monumental. I'm just hoping that maybe he just gets somebody to help him out because it's going to be a lot on his plate. I mean, he's trying to handle AEW and he's getting a lot of criticism, which is valid criticism, which he needs to listen to. So we shall see what happens in the near future. Plus, they are doing tapings come WrestleMania weekend, so we'll have to see how they're going to do everything from there. So, only looks like the wrestling boom is still continuing, so it's time to support all wrestling if you do want every wrestler to be succeeding in this world of professional wrestling.
Great thoughts, Paul Orlando there.
I don't want to agree with Orlando. No, I got to. That was very good, Orlando. Very, very good. I love it.
One interesting thing I noticed over earlier today, Ring of Honor Supercard happens to fall on April Fool's Day.
I did
One
not
of
know
many
that.
shenanigans. WrestleMania is that weekend as well. There's a lot of interesting things that weekend.
Hopefully, after the Supercard show is where they will start taking off, because I think that's a little too direct, a little too fast. If you're gonna put your pedal to the metal, go ahead, but don't go 100 miles an hour. Go up 50 miles an hour right now. Don't rush these things.
I'm sure Tony will be there at Supercard of Honor.
Yeah.
Get some things in motion.
Oh, absolutely.
One thing that intrigues me when they did their last pay-per-view, we didn't know if it was their farewell pay-per-view or not back in December. That's when Control Your Narrative made its debut. I wonder if it's going to continue in Ring of Honor.
We shall see.
Caleb is pumped to see Tony Khan buying Ring of Honor. I would say probably 90% of the internet is as well.
We already know where the other 10% goes.
Yeah.
Other wrestling fans like us, everybody is entitled to an opinion. So.
Yeah, that was a good way certainly to kick off the match. And then their first match was also the first match on Dynamite last night. Bryan Danielson taking on Christopher Daniels. And Christopher Daniels with one bad eye, 51 years old, comes out and you never know he's up there. And she put on a hell of a return match.
Yeah, I mean, Christopher Daniels looked really sharp for sure. Sarah, I think it was you that shared it in our group chat today that the last time somebody was 51 years old to, be in a showcase match like that was Ric Flair, actually on the last episode of Nitro. So it's really cool. I can't say this enough. Where people think Tony Khan is a Rick Moranis, which I loved his acting back in the day, and little known fact about Rick Moranis, he actually was a scientist before becoming an actor. So Rick Moranis was a smart guy. Well, if you want to compare Tony Khan, damn, Tony Khan must be a scientist as well, because his formula and everything that he remembers is just out of this world.
Agree.
Just insane.
And of course, we had the Tag Team Battle Royal last night, or Casino Tag Team Battle Royal, as they were calling it. And of course, we had Darius Martin making his return last night from Top Flight. Great to see him back.
I loved it.
He did not miss a beat.
No, and it's funny because I think it was 1 year to the day where he tore his ACL.
It had to be. He was right around Revolution, so yeah.
Crazy.
Of course, the Young Bucks winning that last night. They got a little help from Red Dragon. Are you surprised? Are they trying to build up that trust just to take them back down again?
The booking, like the storytelling, was actually pretty cool because it kind of felt like a trust fall. With I think it was Matt Jackson, the last one standing in there for the Bucks. Yeah, I mean, it was predictable though. It really was. But one thing I will say, like Justin said, Darius looked amazing. Like really, really good. I really thought we were going to see a huge swerve. I really thought for sure Darius was going to win for Top Flight. So I'm excited for the future with Top Flight. I'm glad that they're back as a tag team.
And, for his first match back, he went from beginning to end as well.
Exactly. Which is why I trust Tony Khan's process. It's because he thinks about that talent so much. It's unreal.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other. It was great to see a few other, people in the match. Varsity Blondes were in there. Wingmen haven't been on Dynamite in a while, I don't think.
Definitely been a while. Yes, he's our Benoni. I mean, he even had a match last night, even though it was 30 seconds long to my War Dog, but hey, okay with me.
Yeah, it was amazing to see Wardlow just powerbomb Symphony right on stage with Benoni, a man that's bigger than him.
He looked really sharp. And skipping just a smidge ahead before I want to dive into the MJF and CM Punk thing. Yeah, like the whole thing, the whole incident with Wardlow and MJF was fantastic. I finally see so much going into this. I finally see Spearsy, or whatever they want to call him in the group, cost Wardlow. Damn it. But maybe not. I don't know. But I do see that happening. And then finally, Wardlow finally snaps and turns on MJF. And Caleb does have a question for us. So that's a plus there. Let's see. What are Red Dragon and Young Bucks? I think it's just because of the story that's building currently. There, Caleb, I really don't know. If I had to choose, though, I think it should have been Santana and Ortiz to win last night, honestly. But due to storyline purposes, I think that's what they're doing here, and I think Red Dragon might win the titles on Sunday. Sarah, you're on mute. There we go. I can't hear you. Oh, that's much better. Now I can hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I was just checking the top 5 rankings. Neither one of the teams are in the top 5, so. But, I mean, Young Bucks are the best tag team in the world, so.
I was gonna say I would have been shocked if they didn't have a pay-per-view match. I mean, but yeah, I think Red Dragons are gonna win the titles, and that sets up for them to be, definitely turning on the Bucks, and then we're gonna see finally the return of Kenny, and I'm thinking about around Double or Nothing. I really do at this point. Maybe All Out too. So um, we shall see.
And I think it was Tony Khan on Busted Open Radio the other day. I shared a graphic. He was talking about the trios titles, which everybody's been asking for,
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much just hinting at it would definitely be something to bring back once Kenny's back. So
At this point, now that he's the new owner of ROH, undoubtedly there's going to be the trios title finally.
yeah, in some form or another.
Yeah.
Last night also, what else did we have last night? The women's tag match, Mercedes Martinez and Thunder Rosa against Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. The big story out of that is Thunder Rosa pinning Britt Baker.
That makes me worried a little bit because, Sarah, I'm sure you know more than I do. If the heel or the face or whoever may be to get the pinfall before the pay-per-view are the ones that usually win. So something tells me maybe a little bit that Baker might win the title. Keep the title. I hope it's
That's
Thunder.
WWE style of booking. I've tried applying that. Tony Khan doesn't always follow that rule.
That's the
It's
fact of the
caused me in
evening.
predictions leagues a few times, thinking that using that same theory. Oh, the heel got the pin on the go home show, so the babyface is winning, and then the heel retains or wins or whatever. So,
And Thunder Rosa did share a video on her Facebook page today. It was pretty much a vignette of the history of her and Britt. So, yeah, the other side is telling me, please just put the title on Thunder Rosa. It's time.
yeah. I mean, she's had it long enough. You can tell she's getting ready for a program with Mercedes. So,
Yep.
we were talking about Wardlow and Cesar Bononi. And, of course, the main event, the 6-man tag, Adam Cole and Red Dragon, formerly Undisputed Era, taking on Adam Page and Dark Order. Dark Order coming down, in their Dark Order cowboy outfits.
That match to me felt like a dud a little bit. It did not really engage me. I know this might sound a little controversial to some people, but I think the main event of Revolution honestly should be MJF and CM Punk at this time. I feel the title reign for Adam Page, I would have to say probably he has been the weakest world champion to date, and I can't believe I'm saying that about Adam Page. It's just, I'm not feeling it yet. And the thing that's exciting me more is the MJF and CM Punk match. I mean, this is nothing against Adam Page. I think he's a great athlete, hands down. Absolutely. But if there's a title change, it really wouldn't bother me. But yeah, either way, I don't know. That main event last night just didn't do it for me.
We'll go back to CM Punk and MJF in a minute. I want you to give me a one-word answer. Does Hangman retain the title on Sunday?
Yes.
Okay.
By the skin of his teeth.
Justin agreeing with you, saying dog collar match should be the main event. I don't think I'd be surprised either way. I mean, these guys are putting out great promo after great promo after great promo. And they had the whole ended up believing MJF was turning to babyface and they were going to pull the double switch. And Sunday Punk would turn heel, and one low blow changed it. MJF showed that he is the true heel in the business.
He's that damn good, that's why.
I mean, what are your takes from that promo last night?
So I thought the promo was really, really good. Just the only little hiccup that I have is why did they have to do the hug though? Like that made it feel more predictable a little bit that MJF was gonna do the low blow or something. I wish they would have done that differently. Other than that, I mean, the brutality that Spearsy and mostly MJF did onto Punk was really, really good. I had a couple people message me today that they felt like the choke from like Punk getting hanged was a little off. But anybody that knows history with CM Punk, one of his all-time favorites is not only Roddy Piper, but it's also I want to say he said Raven. So one of the histories about this whole thing with Roddy Piper is, remember, he was in a dog collar match as well, and he got hanged from the dog collar. So CM Punk's story with this is he's kind of going back to his love for Roddy Piper. So
yeah,
that was quite the angle.
He's got a history of kind of bringing some of those old school moments into today, kind of reliving those moments through his own story.
Quite the blade job too, by the way. Oh my gosh, yeah. Jeez.
Before we move on to some WWE talk, I was going to ask you what match you're looking forward to most on Sunday. We got a prediction show we're going to do on Saturday. What match are you looking forward to most?
Definitely the dog collar match. I think it's because of the storytelling that's been involved with this. The promos leading up to it has been the most intriguing thing that I've seen in wrestling in probably the last decade. If not that one, all these cards, this whole card is amazing. Kind of intrigued with the Face of the Revolution ladder match this year. Because I'm curious to know now who's going to be that Joker. There's many options out there now. I know I can't say them all. The dark one, though, the dark favorite match that I'm excited for, I think it's smart to put this guy on the pre-show. I called it on Tuesday to Sean. I think this is really good. The fact that Hook is going to be in a match, so that way it really ignites the crowd before the main show starts. So, yeah, that'll probably be a 5-minute match because QT Marshall is just QT Marshall.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited for that one because it's, kind of intriguing, but I don't know. I mean, this whole card top to bottom is just, I'm not here to speak the negatives, but this card here feels like WrestleMania, and WrestleMania's card feels like a Raw and SmackDown combined. So,
yeah, to me it always seems like Revolution is, they've said Double or Nothing is their WrestleMania, but to me it always seems like it's more Revolution. They talk about being the Revolution, and Tony Khan did mention this is where some storms are going to end and where new ones begin, which is typical what WrestleMania is. So I think that's what we're going to see. Revolution is really the big pay-per-view.
oh yeah, I agree. And I think it's going to be actually more than 200,000 buys from All Out 2021, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
let's take a look here. Monday Night Raw was interesting. I think with everything going on with AEW, rumors even going back to the Pat McAfee show, what Vince, we'll get to that in a little bit too. There was a big heel turn that ended Monday Night Raw. We saw Edge, lay out the open challenge, saying, hey, and who wants to fight in WrestleMania? AJ Styles came out, which has been a dream match for, both of those guys in the audience as well. They came out. They shook hands, and Edge turned on AJ Styles. And watching it, the audience seemed confused, like, what's going on? Are we supposed to, boo Edge now? And then he made it abundantly clear that, yeah, I'm the heel now. I'm the bad guy. Which, let's be honest, heel Edge is the best Edge.
Yeah, especially when he gets that bed head or sex hair or whatever you want to call it with Edge. My opinion, though, I'm going to say this. Can Edge finally win on WrestleMania since he's been back, though? AJ Styles just signed a contract, a new one, for a couple more years. So it could really go both ways. The only little nitpick that I do have, though, is on Monday Night Raw, they had back-to-back heel turns, and they felt like they had the same story. So we had Damian Priest the segment before turning heel, and then we had Edge the segment after turning heel. So 2 heel turns in a row to end your show. It felt very lazy to me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be against the 2 heel turns if one happened and then the next one happens probably 2 weeks later. But the fact it was the same story back to back, that just felt weird to me. But Priest was in dire need of a heel turn anyway.
I think they tried it a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then something happened. He was facing and doing a program with The Miz right after they tried to turn him heel. So they had to bring him back to babyface. So this was kind of overdue. And yeah, brand new United States champion, Finn Balor winning the title. Congrats to him.
All he needs to win now is the tag titles to become a Grand Slam champ. That's pretty cool. That's a good thing on his resume. But yeah, so do I agree with the heel turn? Absolutely. It's long overdue with Edge turning heel. I do agree with you, Sarah. He's better as a heel. I would have to say this year, to be quite honest, I feel the Edge and AJ Styles match should actually, I don't think it's been confirmed yet. I think this should be the main event for night 1. It's that damn good.
I mean, they did confirm that it was going to be the women's title match because they advertised, one of the Royal Rumbles getting main event matches. So
okay, I stand corrected. This should be the second to last match on night 2. Then this match has a reason to believe that Edge can still go. AJ Styles is really worth the money. But I'm very happy with the heel turn by Edge. I mean, how can you not love the rated R superstar?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Edge is hands down one of my favorites, and he can do all things when he's a heel. So I'm all for it.
Moving on to NXT from Tuesday night, NXT 2.0. 3, I guess, at least for them, big storylines coming out of there. You had Gunther, formerly Walter, ending the undefeated streak of Solo Sikoa, which is the younger of the Usos. We had, it was announced, I believe it's for next week, a triple threat for the NXT men's title. Braun Breaker will defend against Tommaso Ciampa and Dolph Ziggler. And Carmelo Hayes successfully defended the North American title against Pete Dunne.
I mean, I like it with Carmelo Hayes. He's definitely got a good future. I like Hayes. I really do. So I like that. I'm glad Gunther, Walter Don't say Gunther in front of Luke because he won't like that. Uh, I'm glad that he won. I don't know why. Just Sequoia does not do it for me at all. He's just so boring to me. That's just my opinion on that. Triple threat title match though next week. I don't know. I'm glad that Braun Breaker's in that position though, because they want to make him a stronger champion going forward. This is good for him, but I really thought the purpose of the NXT 2.0 was showcasing your younger talent. Like, nothing against Bobby Roode or Ziggles, but I thought it was just a showcase show for the newest talent.
I mean, I've heard they're going to influx some talent, here and there to go to NXT, to kind of help probably draw some of the eyes to it that weren't watching before, and also help put over the talent.
Not when it got only, I think, 551,000 viewers this past Tuesday. Just, I guess some people are not invested, and if I can speak as a diehard wrestling fan, I think NXT 2.0 really has it. It's too bad some people just don't take the time to check it out.
For those who do have the time to check it out, NXT UK, we won't spoil it here because it just came out today, a couple hours ago. So you can either read, the results, or we recommend going and watching. It's only about an hour long usually. There's a big return. Not a return, but somebody makes their debut on that brand. And it's going to be cause for some interesting matchups over there.
I love the talent who stepped in there, so definitely check it out, guys.
So to end the show, we'll talk a little bit about Vince McMahon for the first time in 20 or 22 years appearing on a talk show for an interview. He gave Pat McAfee an interview, which, whether you like him or not, is a big deal because he doesn't do these often. Anybody that does wrestling interviews, podcasts, their holy grail is always Vince McMahon because he's the white whale. You can't get him. So it's probably to further along some storylines. One of the big storylines that we thought we were going to get was McAfee versus McMahon. Not the case, but I do believe I did read that McMahon said McAfee will have a match. At this point, my guess is probably Austin Theory, the way they played that out on Raw.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's good and it's interesting, and it's I don't know how I feel about that. Nothing against McAfee. I thought his last match that he was in the ring with Adam Cole, he did a great job.
Yeah.
So I don't think McAfee's going to disappoint. It's just, again, there's so much deserving talent that should be in a match. So I don't I like it and I don't like it, if that makes sense.
I think he planned to wrestle more, but when he did that War Games match, he got a little more injured than he expected, and it took a lot more out of him. I think he decided to scale it back. I could be mistaken, but
who knows?
Yeah.
But like I said, McAfee, he can go though. He really can. So,
two other notes out of there. He did say, McAfee asked him about all the releases over the past 2 years. Vince just said, pretty much it's nothing personal. He just tries to do what's best for business. And he recognizes that a certain corner or a certain portion of the internet feels they know what's best for the business, but he admits he tends not to listen to that corner.
just like you said 4 years ago, Vince. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm going to say to that because I don't want to get any people heated with me with my opinion on that.
And we'll end on the one big note that, from when it was first announced that Undertaker was going in, we said, who's going to induct him? We all took our guesses. I think one that's not surprising, but also unexpected, is that Vince McMahon will induct The Undertaker into the Hall of Fame. And like Justin says here, you're hoping for Kane. Shawn Michaels would have been another acceptable person, I think, or even Mick Foley. I think those were the top 3 contenders. But Vince McMahon, he's the one that believed in The Undertaker, so it makes complete sense.
Yeah, I said that into Sean's predictions chat today. I mean, I don't care what I think of Vince, but at the end of the day, I think this is a very good person that will induct Taker because this was his creation, like Justin said. So I absolutely really can get behind that decision. So should be interesting what Vince will say when he steps on the podium, but I really liked Undertaker's tweet as well. Said where you had a hell of a ride. Let's do this one more time, old man, or something like that. I really like that. You can definitely tell they will always have that bond. So it makes sense.
And for those that don't know this year, Hall of Fame is not getting its own show. It is going to be taped right after SmackDown that weekend, I believe. So for when it's going to air, I guess stay tuned for details. And before we sign off, coming this weekend at shopbucklebomb.com, use code REV3 for Revolution, the third Revolution. It is going to be, use that code for $3 off at shopbucklebomb.com. That'll run from 5 p.m. Friday night all the way to the end of Sunday at midnight. So $3 off your order this weekend. Just use code REV3.
Sounds perfect. Oh, sorry, Sarah. I thought you were going to say something.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, before we do sign off, though, I want to say it was Brian that already tagged me in it. Yes, so I'm sure the internet's already seeing it. The WWE talks with Cody has fizzled down, according to Bodyslam.net. Bodyslam.net is a very trusty source. I'm curious to see if Sean Ross Sapp has something to say about this too, because I love the Fightful Select team with accuracy. So, Sarah, I'm gonna reverse the role here. What do you think is gonna happen? What do you think about all this?
I was saying from the beginning, I don't think he was going back to WWE. I thought it was some kind of swerve or work. I'd been calling it for a couple of weeks that, I know I'm not the only one with this opinion, but I came up with that on my own. I felt that, it was going to be swerve for Cody to run Ring of Honor if or when Tony Khan bought it. So I still think that's the plan.
Oh, I do too. I really do. And you know how you asked me a little bit ago, do I think Adam Page is going to retain the title? That's where it could be me thinking again. I don't know. Because, again, I could see possibly the seeds getting planted for ROH with Cody being that heel over there. And then either him taking the reins over there, and then finally Cody gets his heel turn, the heat that he would get from the AEW crowd. Mm-hmm. Tony Khan did say on Bustin' Open Radio yesterday, at Revolution, they're going to do some storylines with who knows, and that's where I feel like it's Cody. I really do. And Daniel, who you guys can check out on here in previous episodes, he even said this a while back too, that he really believes that Cody's gonna be taking ship over ROH.
Cody wants creative control of stuff, and let Tony have AEW, and Cody can be creative for what we hear is going to be developmental, Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm. And I would put Samoa Joe and Regal in there as well. I would really, really do that. So it's going to be very interesting because as a huge AEW supporter, I pay attention so much to everything that these talents say or whatever. And Cody's last thing that he ever said before he departed, he said that get ready to go for a wild ride that we have never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
That was not going to be WWE.
No.
So we shall see.
The one thing I'm asking, Tony, if you happen to see this, rebrand Battle of the Belts for a one night a year pay-per-view, AEW versus Ring of Honor, champions versus champions. Why not?
Tweet the video to Tony, Sarah.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe he'll see it.
He does listen to everybody, apparently.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that'll do it for us here today. Catch the replay on YouTube tomorrow, all the audio podcasts as well in the next day or two. And thanks for joining us, everybody.
Have a good night.